Welcome back from the lunch break, everyone. Council, if we're ready to continue, please bring in the witness.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The witness is being ushered in.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Major Camara.
Thank you.
Before the break, we were looking at your confessionary video that was taken by GRTS and aired over the GRTS for the public to view. Before we left, yes, go ahead.
Numbara bake Mr. Camara, bismillah kamurunang CDRola. Janninga ta dahala ibedia mukanu hanufo mfutata dinkirato damenga video bondi wato men ye video menta kala kumakanguluta ke funtindi GRTS bitungo video kola long wati stundron nata kachalo waleton tata dahala.
Before we left, you told us that the statements that you made on that video were false. Why did you make them?
We were told that we should, say them in the exact words that we said them. So that the president can pardon us, can release us. Because they were to convince the president that we were lodged into that problem. That he can sympathize with us and release.
And regardless of what the truth was, you went ahead and made those statements.
Yes, because each and every one of us was ready to leave to leave Mile 2 Central Prison to join with our families.
And after you made it and you realized that you were not released, how did you feel?
I was disappointed.
Is it your suggestion that you were hoodwinked, you were misled into making this public confession on the promise that you would be released?
Amunta yali nenele kali filindi puru kali bula nying kumafang fasong lufola puru nying kamala kafoko kali jikindi ko bali bula lale andung amanna keunya.
That's true.
But this confession was public evidence that you carried out, that you were guilty of treason.
Baribitung anataka nyameng aliyenyi menketeng hanifo ya fintindi amunta keta jamanya koto sede aleti ko alisontale ka aliyejam fajawoleke.
Was it led in evidence during your trial?
Amunta kulem nyinti me ya lonko ya tele tambindi ka ke sede kuolti alla kiti okonobang nyim video nying.
Yeah, it was part of the evidences which were in the court.
So not only were you fooled into apologizing to Ajame, that apology was also used as evidence against you.
Amanda nyindamana kali nene pro alie bolo sayo diya jamela. Bara nataka nyimfanantiko yali filindile kali nene pour que sedo ti jama nyatili la atella kolu kama.
Exactly.
Wala muto nyati.
Tell us, who was involved in this enterprise? Was it only the recorders of the video or other people?
Afanyen jumanyo le bulo be nyin do ko nyin fonkono. Amonta men ya ko nyinke ka record jumanyo le men bulo ba nyin mume kono.
I think apart from the panelists,
Jikita nyinde ko ninga bota mola melo londi pour ka ko
it was a demand from the president.
Kanin ro bota president la Carol.
Because Kebadiba was part of the president, GRTS.
Kebadiba bota television bumba la Carola.
And then GRTS, we believe, was center managed by the former president.
Ndun jikita nyina ko GRTS wo wa to la nu menka ko nyimbe tama menka la kanka tama je wala president membe nu jang.
Who recorded the video?
Jumanyo le nata video nyim fon record.
Kebadiba.
Wala Kebadiba di.
Where is he today?
Bi ale
I think I was informed that he passed away.
Jikita nyinde la
so rest in peace.
Jikita nyinde ko ikonya ko abandal alama ne man kafar kala.
The panel members, were they aware that this video was being made?
mennu be o nyinin kare kafo kono ibota kala male ko ibe nyim video da kan ibada da kan wato me bota kala male ba.
Yes, in fact, the panel members were there when it was taking place.
Did
the panel members know that you did not voluntarily say the contents of that video?
Wo nyinin kar kafo wala o kisikisir lalo ya lonne bang ko ali kuma kangalu mennu fo amunta kuma le mo ye mennu dungali da amanka al fangol langani yakumudi.
Probably some, of the panel members may know.
Who would not know?
Jumala betala je mem malong.
The panel has people who at that time were at higher positions.
They,
at that moment of their service as part of the panel members, to the status quo ante that time.
Could you take that again? I missed something.
I mean, in those prevailing circumstances, there are some among the panel members having the position of influential positions. They can dictate the pace of the investigation. Those are the people I believe were in touch with the president. And even if they were not directly, in touch with the president, but there was a link. Because we have the like of Usman Sonko, the then minister. He was then the IGP. Was having a direct link with the president. And he also, Sonko has a direct link with Lantom Bantamba. Then he has a direct link with the Hydra within the panel. With few other elements. So for them, I believe they knew exactly what was happening. So to others, like the soldier that was having his weapon facing at me, may not know what was happening, what was exactly happening.
in a sense, you are suggesting to us that it was the top bra, the leaders, who knew what was happening.
Amunda ko ay nyine itandi ko wo ko nyin menu ba kunna wo kunton ko lu menu bije woto wol yalo nenu membe kering.
You made it as if it's just a belief that you have. Do you know with certainty that this top bra knew exactly what was going on?
Ya itandile ko ila lanno ila talale ko bota kalamale barbitun fa koyte male tonya ko nyimmolu ya lonne membe keri bota kalamale membe keri.
Yeah, let me just make a quick reflection of what I've said here before. Because I stated here that the young man who was obtaining my statement, from time to time, he will consult the panelists, the panel members. And he will come and tell me that delete this and add this. He was aware, he said, if you put these things, the president will pardon you. And then that was the trend, because all those who have spoken have pleaded to the president. So by that, the deductions that I've made out of that was certain that this was, an aspect that they have put in place to just to fool us. Except the fact that once we have put this thing in, then the president would release us.
But you were not released in the end.
Bari imanali bula kuokola.
Exactly. You were prosecuted.
Yali kitindi.
That's true. Can you kindly tell us the steps that were taken?
Afanyeng simfa fasong jumanyolu yewoleta.
We've stayed in jail in Mile 2 Central Prison.
Mile 2 Kaso Bumbaro.
Precisely maximum security unit.
Maximum security unit.
I was at block number 5.
Block number 5.
Stayed there for a period of that 90 days I've mentioned.
Just one intervening question. During that 90 days, how many times were you tortured?
O nyininkar kilim fele. Wo tili tankonon to nyingu kono. Ya ali tilimbalia sinya jelle wolem kali lipa.
I will recount two myself.
Fula.
The day Baba Sao slapped me. And the day, the night, Malik Jada and Amadou Badji hit my head against the wall repeatedly before taking me to the bidding zone. Those are the two occasions. That's the physical torture meted on me. Psychologically, I can't count.
Can you give us an example of the psychological torture?
This is Santiago Dino Nale. O tajire ya men keta sondome batando ti sondome tajire ya me ya lekan.
Because mostly these the junglers and Omar Koli and others will come to prison to take prisoners out of their cells during the night. And then you can hear that trauma. You can feel it. That was inflicted on the inmates. Because at any time the entrance of maximum security wing is opened, you know that somebody is going to be taken away. People will come with broken legs. People will come with bloods everywhere on their body being violated. So that alone is a trauma. Those who were there.
So, and this Omar Koli, the guy you call Jar Guide, he'd be the one to open the doors all the time. Is that what you said?
Umar Koli ka fome jagai. Atelo moti ba menka wo bunda lu yele wato bebang.
Practically, he was not having the key. But the prison officers were having the key. He will be with them to say, open this cell. And he will stand to wait till the person inside comes out. He will instruct for that person to be handcuffed. And then take away.
Would he know that the person taken away would be tortured?
For asikeko aya lonne ko ikanyimmen sambateng ibitali palale.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because when I was brought in the other night, it was Omar Koli and another person. I can't remember. Because I couldn't walk. So they were the people who supported me on the other side of Masood. Took me to my cell. So when they opened the door, they just pushed me. I felt on the ground. And then I heard a comment from one saying that leave him to die there because he was the person who caused it for himself. So that was the burning issue of those days. Anytime, because if there will be no torture, you will be taken in the daytime. Anytime you are taken during the night, we all know that that person will be. Yes.
How about your colleagues? What you've just described, did it only happen to you?
No. It was something that almost everybody has gone through. Even those civilian components who were also arrested.
It was modus operandi of the panel. Would you say that this is correct? That the investigations were carried out by a panel comprising questioners, statement takers, and beaters, and confession recorders.
Yes.
In fact, you are saying there was a state apparatus to forcibly or falsely extract a confession out of suspects and broadcast it in public for the gratification of the president.
Me ya lonko ye inenele wala ye detendi pour ka kuma kangolu fo nyin kamala isina fintindi jama juberu bunda la wala ka lamoy jamala karola nyimbe pour ka president jusolandi.
Yes.
Also,
there are practical examples where that happened. And that will suffice answer for you. The question that you have asked. There was an instance when the former IGP Usman Sonko, that I think he was, I don't know whether he was then a minister or the time he was making that pronouncement. He said that 5 inmates were taken from the central prison, Mile 2 Central Prison. And they were being transported to Janjambure. The vehicle involved in an accident had, somersaulted which had, led to the escape of the prisoners who were, the detainees who were being transported to Janjambure. That was a complete lie.
Why do you say that?
No, then we were all tortured. For us to, run, even to move with our own legs like that easily is practically impossible. We need to have support. And then, for somebody's hands to be cuffed at the back, to run away, from the securities without being caught. It's a complete fantasy. So you can see the way they can frame and paint a story about the president, which is unfounded.
Those 5 people, do you remember their names?
Yes.
Who are they?
NIA, Dabamarena.
NIA,
The armed forces you have.
So Jarola Carola, yes, remember je, well,
001. Ba.
What's his first name?
Alphaba. Then you have Second Lieutenant Ibulo. You have Second Lieutenant Alaji Sise. Then you have Sergeant Malafikor.
And Sergeant Malafikor.
Those are the 5. They were the 5 people who were taken away.
Did you see them when they were, or just about when they were being taken out?
Foye jele bang wato meng ibe nyilu fintindi kang pour que samba.
No, I did not. Because I could remember whether a day before or some few days before we were taken away. That was the actual day I was beaten seriously. One of my class told me that, look, we are coming for you, we're going to get you out from cells and we are going to kill you. And this was Mustafa Sane. So
was he a jungler?
He is a jungler.
From where?
From State Guard.
Where in Gambia did he originate from?
Mustafa Sane, I think it's in Fonyi. I don't know. I can't tell you the exact position.
Or is it from Kartong?
I don't want to
let's move on. Don't speculate on an answer. But just before these 5 individuals you mentioned were taken away, did they sustain any torture?
Yes, they were seriously tortured. They were seriously tortured. And that would not enable them to just run away in the eyes, of the security without them being caught.
What is interesting is that all of them escaped.
It has indicated to you, that has indicated, because that's why I said here. I said to answer that question, the government has state managed everything with regards to what had happened. If Sonko was to speak the truth at that time, he would have narrated everything as it had happened. But he did not. He painted a scenario which was completely out of context.
Because
when we had the announcement, we said that was not possible. No. I looked at my own. I cannot run. If I want to walk, people have to support me. You know, it's not possible.
We've received testimony from the junglers claiming that they executed them.
Na CDRO soro jongla solu fongolu bulujang ko itelle nyili fa.
Okay, that's true.
Daba Marena, he was NIA, one of the top NIA bosses at the time. How did he come to be arrested?
Daba Marena, atele mu NIA ulla moti me yalonko watu anataka kundonkoti NIA. Sai, atenata dunyin kokono nyadi.
Well, I don't know, but like I've said here before, I said Nduru Cham, Colonel Nduru Cham, said that he has support from NIA, from the ministers, armed forces, and the others. I've mentioned that. So whether he was part of the operations, I don't know as at then.
But the interesting thing here is that some he did not name were arrested, and some of those he named were not arrested.
Men keta jakali koto jang. Ay tolu dolu menu fo yewolu muta. Bari ay to dolu fanalu fo men ya lonko imanna wolu muta.
Yes, that can easily tell you
how
adulterated how adulterated the whole investigation was. Because some people went and testified that they were part and parcel of the operations. They were released. I won't be surprised.
Like who?
Like one of my friends, he's late now.
Who?
That was Famo Jame. He was also a captain. He's my class in the armed forces. He mentioned that he has to control a portion of the operations area, seen from Denton Bridge to State House. He was released from jail.
What's his name?
He's Captain Famara Jame.
Captain Famara.
Any relationship with Yaya Jame?
Fani Yaya Jame denta kula lebang. Badiyat.
No, what we had, that this Famara, he's a friend of mine. We stayed together. His sister was married to Malia Mungu Musa Jame. Musa Jame was very, very influential.
Was Malia Mungu involved in the investigation?
Malia Mungu dung afananda be o kisikisiro konol nu.
Malia was most of the time at the conference hall.
Malia jama katara conference hall on kono jele.
Where what?
Where the panelists were seated. The fear factor that people used to have about Malia was very, very open to everyone.
But those who were in the panel were far superior to him in the service. Why would they be afraid of him?
Many alonko la palaso le fons seletate la palasoti. So muna nebe sila lala.
Let me give a practical example for you to understand. The junglers are by far very junior.
CDS.
They can come during those days and pass instructions. Nobody will alter it.
Hani kanala rong ye kangodi but more hani more
That was the status quo, prevailing circumstances then.
Let's get that straight again.
Yes.
Rewind.
I talked about the fear factor. I said the panelists, you are saying whether the panelists, there are some part of the panelists who are senior to Musa Jammeh. And that Musa cannot pass instructions to them. Or why do they have to fear Musa? So I'm making that comparison here. Bring a better understanding of what was happening then. A jungler in those days and even pass instructions to the CDS. That was the fear factor then. Because the junglers were directly connected to the president. Musa Jammeh was directly connected to the president. So even if the president probably did not say something and they said, that will be actualized. Because already that notion has been built in place already.
In fact, you are saying that in spite of the de jure arrangements, the de facto power lay with Musa Jammeh Maliam Bungu at that time during that panel investigation.
Even fokanko koluni lanya nyaunyandi nyama ye tembendi nyaunyandi nyama bari Musa Jammeh Maliam Mungu amunta atemu moliti me ya lonko anin sembe bale be wo kisikisir lalu kono wo tembo.
Yes. Musa Jammeh
Solbaji Mbultamba
were very influential.
Influential or powerful?
They are powerful.
So after all this, you have been tortured. You are being now taken for trial.
Yes.
Where were you tried in the first instance?
High Court, Banjul.
What can you tell us about that trial?
Yes, after spending 90 days in jail, we were asked to find, lawyers to defend us. In fact, we were arraigned before the court. Then we were asked by the judge whether we have lawyers.
Who was the judge on this occasion?
Commonwealth Judge Munajen. I think Munajen.
Commonwealth Judge
Yes. We said we don't have any because we are just from jail and being brought into to the court. So she instructed we should be allowed to have visits so that we can our family members can look for lawyers for us. I think that was the time we were given visit. So we are able to contract lawyers. To cut the long story short, I was able to have lawyer Jobate as my lawyer. He was paid by my younger brother in installment form. Then during that course of trial also at the High Court, my defense lawyer Jobate was stopped. From time to time was stopped. Visit me in jail. Yes, because for them, who was doing that effectively? Was this Umar Koli, Jagai? Jawa guy was making things very difficult for us.
We understand that he's reputed for usually saying a particular phrase, a particular statement concerning mercilessness.
Yes.
Ka kuma fo me ya lon ko dimindir kumo le modi.
I think he used to say whether those who were against us will treat them treat the mercilessly or what? Those who are against the government, sort of. Will treat you mercilessly. I forgot completely, but he used to say what you have now said here.
No mercy for the merciless.
Exactly, no mercy for the merciless. That's what he used to say.
Did he stick to that?
Yes, up till the time Commissioner Anti flushed him out from Maltu, to return to his place, State Guard Battalion.
What does Jagai do at the moment?
He is currently serving at Defense Headquarters Camp in Jundum.
Defense Headquarters Camp,
that's where he is.
What is his relationship with those soldiers to whom he was saying there is no mercy for the merciless?
Let me just take a particular example. That is myself. Jai Guy Umar Koli. While I was in jail, I believe now he's looking at me. I've advised him on serious occasion that you have to be very, very careful. From the look of things, I strongly believe that will one day come out from jail, and then we'll work with this present government or another government in the armed forces. I've said this to Jagai not only once. I used to advise him, but to him probably he was thinking that I was just talking. I could remember he used to have problems with family members. Jagai would force them to go and stand in the rains while it was raining. Because they are he said, no mercy for the merciless. So he has extended this to our family members. Jagai will ask our family members to go across the highway. If they had come to Mile 2 to visit us, Jagai will say, today they are going to visit. When our family members had woke up, early hours of the morning to visit, he will wait till maybe they spend another 2 hours at the gate. And he will pass instructions that no visitors for the family members.
Are you suggesting that Jagai had a say on who received visits or not?
Wotembo ay kango sotonde pour kafo jumanyo lela molu nyante kumpa bola aning atete sonna jumanyo lela molu ya jumanyo lela molu samari kumpa bo.
Yes, very well.
Wala mtu nyati.
Very well.
He had the authority to stop your lawyer from visiting you?
Ay nying kango sotole asembo pour ka kuntri la lawyer nyata pour okane eteje.
That's true.
Where did he get that authority from?
Ayo sembo soto mintole.
It's a self-assumed powers because of his connection to State House.
State House.
So he's acting Or he was acting rather. Because of his connection to state guard and anything that comes from him,
state guard, it was
believed that it was coming from the president. Okay, so that was it. Jagai was behaving in that manner. And your question whether what is his relation with those officers and soldiers? He had let me give you this piece of event that had happened. There was, I think, on 2 occasions, Jagai came to Defense Headquarters, Banjul. And he came to my office. We were chatting, normal chatting. And then I offered him breakfast. And he was the one who was denying us breakfast outside. I asked my orderly to prepare tea for him. And we bought bread and gave it to him to eat. This had happened on 2 occasions. So just to tell him what he was doing, and what I told him now prevailed. Humanity, one has to be very careful.
Would you say that he was a humane officer?
No. He is not. Because with the advice that I've given him would have sufficed for him to change. That was the time Jagai was treating us ruthlessly. Yes.
Okay. So you are now taken before the High Court. Did your case proceed to conclusion at the High Court?
Yeah, Lisamba High Court. Silang Allah kitol tatale hanfo akbanta fereng High Court bang.
No.
Honey.
Because the DPP was not prepared for the case.
DPP mantra pare nun case nyinda.
They had scanty evidences.
I could
remember Munajen was telling the DPP, if you don't have substantive evidences, for you to proceed with this case, it's better for us to stroke off the case out of the court. She has said that to him. And there will be instances where the DPP will be addressed by the judge, and that which had indicated the dissatisfaction of the judge regards to how things were going then. So when the DPP when the DPP realized that he cannot go further, I think they opted to structure of the case. The High Court. There it was transferred to go enter.
A lot of. Let's take that again. There are no secret trials in this country.
Yes, but they are denied to come in to the court.
Who would deny them?
The case, this that my 21st, foil coup was something that was taken by the government. Seriously, and the apparatus that they have put in place to ensure that it was checked properly. And what they have opted for prevails. And they realized that it was not going to the direction that they intended it to go. All obstacles were put in place. Frustrate us and our families, including our families. So at times, people will come to jail. So to court, and they will say they cannot enter. My wife will cry all over the place. I used to tell her that, look, one day I'll be out. So those are the kinds of, look at somebody who woke up, let's say 3, 4 a.m. Then leave your place. Come and see your husband. You cannot see. You were having a baby then. It was very terrible then. Jagai and others will be frustrating our family. It was not only him, but it was stage managed. Tumbul Tamba and the gang. Musa Jamme and the groups. Usman Sonko and the groups. They were all into frustrate us. It was like there's somebody who is having a problem with the former president. The intention will be how best to crack down that person. Methods that they would put in place in order to crack those people down. Some of these things that are mentioned here now.
Okay. Thank you very much. And then your case was eventually transferred to the court martial.
Yes,
from the High Court, we are acquitted and discharged.
If you were acquitted and discharged, you could not have been charged again at court martial.
Did
the court judge say discharged or acquitted and discharged?
We are acquitted and discharged from, it's the technicality that I want to bring in here.
Yes,
we were acquitted and discharged from the, from the High Court. If my memory could serve me well.
If
we are acquitted and discharged normally, we shouldn't have been arrested again.
For the same charge, for the same charge.
But ours was a different thing altogether. Immediately we left the corridors of that, High Court premises. We were asked to join the truck. We were taken to State Central Prison. Mile 2, we were taken to our individual cells. I think, was it on Monday or another day? Major, I think he was a major then. Major or a lieutenant colonel?
Lieutenant
Colonel.
Mendy, SP Mendy. He came to Mile 2.
Mile 2.
And then we were asked to come out. That guy and his group came to the jail, to maximum security. And took us out to the conference hall. There we met SP Mendy.
SP Mendy tarandije.
He said to me and others that your case has now been transferred to court martial, general court martial,
general court martial,
which is going to be held at Yundum. So he said the convening order for that.
Sorry. Convening order for that.
We have to sign that we have received it. We have received the document that will now establish the court martial to be instituted. So I told him that I cannot.
Why?
I said I can't, receive a document from you directly without the presence of my lawyer. No, he said to me, Bawasa, you know what is happening or what was happening. You know exactly what I'm saying. You know it far better than. So please help me to sign this document. I said I'm not going to sign it. So, but what happened? I think my counterparts, when they came, he read to them. They signed. So I also signed. And then we were arranged before the court martial. In the morning, they will pick us from Yundum and we'll be taken to the court martial. Jagai said we supposed not to meet with our families there. There also I addressed him. And I reminded him of what I've said to him before. There was an instant he had a problem with General Aliuba. It was towards the end of the sitting that day. And then this bar wanted to speak to his wife, I believe, or his uncle. Jagai denied. And they had a tussle sort of. So when we, went to mile 2, advised him seriously. Then, because also during the court proceedings at the court martial, we had a trial within trial. And that trial within trial was to establish whether the statements were taken under duress. Then I have my brother who testified and that of my wife who testified. At the following day, I had, an advice. Somebody came to me and then told me that you have to be very careful with the way you are having problem with Jagai here. That your wife is always also having a problem with Jagai. Guys will not mind to kill your family. I said, okay. So we were like that. The judge advocate.
What was his name?
Pakbele is the DPP.
Both of them from which country?
From Nigeria. And then you have this man, Lieutenant Colonel Fofana. Was the president of the court martial there.
He has his first name for Fofana?
Fofana, I think it's Brian Fofana.
Sajo
Fofana.
Sajo Fofana.
He was the president of the court martial. And he has his other, members.
What was the conclusion of the voir dire, of the trial within the trial?
Yeah, it was ruled out that, it was not taken. The statements were not taken under duress.
Natana kitio na kango dile ko tonyala nyinla kuma kango nyini amandi ini sawo imadi ini isawo kan.
Well, you can see
what
God can do. When they lied against us during that moment, those people who were concerned, who were part of that, were also arranged before. They were also, brought into prisons.
Who were they?
Lang and the group.
Lang anado
Lang who?
Yes, Lantombantamba. And then when those people also came, it was the same state-managed witnesses that also stood and testified against them. That their statements were taken. They are jurors. Yes. That is why it is good to tell the truth. And
but the thing is, you do not know for certain that Lang was complicit in getting the false statements or the false confession out of you.
Bari amang koy makoy kenatunin kene ko landa be fero konole men yakendi yetela o kumuluta mantoro kono.
Let's move on if you don't have an answer.
Yes, I have an answer. You see, having spent 9 years, 4 months, 13 days in jail, will make you to understand those that you are dealing with directly. You can read the mindset of people. My interaction with General Lantombantamba has given me a clear picture of who he is.
Let's keep it objective and not personal.
No.
Ngata silo la me yalonko wole mkulu lanya ni Kenyati nkanata ko mfansunku.
I'm very objective here.
You
see, Gambia, we have contributed. At times we will blame the president. It's the people who are surrounding the president. I think I will talk about that in the address, probably.
But on this particular issue,
this particular case, like I said, those guys who were hired to be independent witnesses were not independent witnesses because they were not there at the time we were making those statements. They were just being booked or being hired to satisfy that procedures.
So in a sense, these are independent witnesses for hire, ex post facto.
Amunta nyil musedo leti ye menu nati ferokono ke isondi wala ka fendi la puri lo ka CDRO ke kula me yanon ko amanke nyala.
That's true.
That's a serious accusation.
I am not. In fact, I'm not accusing them, but that's the fact. That's what they did.
So, in the other case, you're suggesting that it's the same set of independent witnesses
that was used, that were used against them.
And how did they plead to that? Did you get to hear?
Yes. That it was not true. But all those people were saying we have, mere fabrications against them. And the time we were tortured
And wato men itartan kambute.
They could have stopped it.
Sa isi banda mil na ko
They
ni
did
nyarol.
not.
Bari make.
We were beaten and they were witness to that.
Nung itolfon yo sede ale.
And when they were also beaten, we were also witness to that.
Dol kabri be tolfon mbute le. Tolfon
When
yo sede
who
ale.
were beaten? You answer?
Lantomo and the others.
Lantombo na do nyolu.
Did you see that?
Yo jele bang.
Yeah, there are marks all over the place. Their bodies.
Markol be balol be bala.
Did you see them taken out?
Yes. We are all staying together at maximum security wing.
Bebe no maximum security wing la kilongo.
At times not in the same block, but anything happens, you are bound to know it.
Bare ko ku keta ifai sa lonno.
Because you are living within the same place with them.
Dinkira kilon dal bebe wolto ini bebe nyoka.
I started with block number 5.
Sa nte ya commencer ni block number 5 la.
And the time lang was brought in.
Wato men na lang nati.
Then I was in block number
Wato men block number
4.
Number 4 nani nyango.
So for the court martial procedures, we were there. What it was done.
Wato men na kiti obe kering court martial.
That our claim, the statements we are taking under duress was thrown out.
And
the submission of DPP was withheld.
And DPP la
Upheld.
Upheld, rather.
Ya tandiro menga kiti laro imanata.
So
Inatata.
And we continued.
And how did the court martial end?
I was found guilty on 5 counts.
Yes.
And was sentenced to life imprisonment.
How did it feel?
Normal. Because when my family members were crying, I told them that I'll be coming out. Because I told them that, yes, this was what they have stated. But what will happen will be different from what they have said. Then I have, the belief that I will go out. So I told them not to cry, let them, have that belief that we will come out one day, inshallah.
But you committed the most heinous crime, which is an attempt to overthrow our constitution.
Dari munta kujaw bale ke katwa le fero le city pour kan na constitution o boyndi.
And the fitting punishment is
andu kuluro men nyantala kan.
You agree?
Ison tawlal.
That life imprisonment.
Wala kan soron siyo daw ba?
I have no problem with that.
Thank you. Tell us about life in the prisons. And in particular about the conditions of the prisons.
Life in imprisonment was terrible. Was terrible in a sense that, even the prison authorities were there to ensure that the dictates of Jammeh, the former president, prevails. And they will do everything to crack down those people that they think are strong elements within the society.
Are you suggesting that Yahya Jammeh used the prison as a tool to break down his opponents?
Yahya Jammeh kasoke ala joranneti pour ka nyo sabanyolu tilimbalia.
Yes, that's true.
Did he have a name for it, as far as you can remember?
He's
5-star hotel.
A 5-star hotel, a 5-star hotel.
Yes.
Was it a hotel?
Hotel ole lumujeti bang.
Is it 5-star in cruelty and 5-star in difficulty?
I'm happy to hear that word. I think 5-star in cruelty. That will be apt for the name.
Wolem sanji lulu tajireya ngalong wolem toti menyanta lola je kunna.
Yes.
Can you describe the conditions?
For kolbe je nyamin wol fo nyemba.
The maximum security wing
Bunda me kafje maximum security wing
is a place
je mudin reality
where
damen
the security elements are normally kept at.
Damen kanta bunda la molu ikawolle sambaje.
And also
Anim fanang
hardcore prisoners
men ketak mo kolengoluti kasokono
are transferred to.
ikawol fanalu saundi jele.
It is a place
Jemudin reality
where each block
damen block wo block
has their individual cells within.
ye fansun selo le soto konoto je.
Except block number 7.
Na manke block woro wulanjangoti block number 7.
I was made to understand that block number 7
Nata nyim fahamu ko wo block number 7
was
woro
an
wulanjang.
annex
Jemu bundaleti
to the main yard.
me yalon ka be chokirin kasola korda bale bala.
So you have block 1,
Block 1 bije,
you have 4
bije, nani
5.
njang. Lulu njang 5.
Those are the maximum. Those are the blocks within the maximum security wing.
Wolem bloko luti men be nyin kanta bundala kolu koto.
But then within the parameters of the maximum security wing, also you have block number 7.
Bari bunda me yalon ko wolem maximum security
So
wing.
let me
Wolem
take
tanka
you
bunda
to-
nyin woro wulanjang fanambe wole koto.
Let me take you to block number 5, where I've started at.
Ngata block number 5 lulu njangoto nteke folota nunda men.
Block number 5 has 99 cells.
Block number 5 wo bunda sel tankononto nin kononto le bije.
If you come to the entrance of block number 5,
Ni nata block number 5 la dato
to the extreme end of that, row,
wo temberi wo bun menu be temberi je al dandulato
facing towards the east,
membe tilindi tilibola
the last row is where it's called Kampama.
borindi labango nyingi ikafuje le kampama
Kampama row is where you have the sick people and the mad people at.
wo borindo wo kampama ro ka kumandi kampamala sasa tol ni nyama tolu be o dinkiral
Those who have tuberculosis were there.
men ya lon ko nyin toto jawo be la be tibi ibe woleto
Those who were mad also were there.
men fanal mu nyama tolu ti wol fanal be o ma fango
And any other diseases, those are where they kept them at.
ani sasa wo sasa na lokuta mo may ke samba o dinkiral
This Kampama block was where I was taken to.
nyin kampama borindo yente samba woltono
And this Kampama block was where many people were also taken to.
adu nyin kampama borindo yemo jamale fanan samba
Because cell number 5 was saturated, was full to capacity.
kadu cell number 5 wolen cell lulu njangoti wo fatale fa deteta
During the first 1 to 2 weeks of the arrest of March 21st coup d'etat,
kabo lum folo fo kata lul labango maj karotil muanin kilin kudeta ye molu nati jele kaje fandi fa deteta.
so they did not check, they did not look into the aspect of the health condition of the cells, whether they are good to, to put in somebody there or not.
Man jata kende la kujube jede wo selo la karola foka fo jambete atale pour ka hadama dingo dundi jang etel mo hani o jube fa.
If you go into some of those cells, you have human feces, around.
Ni dunta o selo dolu kono hadama dingo la kene totalu be o selo lu kono je.
You had blood stains, at this, at the walls of the cells.
Yelo be maring bumbalo dolu la selo lu dolu kono.
Mucus been spitted all over the place.
Anim fanang hakobe bumbalo dolu bala dinkilal to kata o selo lu kono.
So the concern of Jagai and others in those days were just to, put in those, people who were arrested and then put them in those cells.
Jagai na kafunyolu ite la solo momenti nundoron otumo wolem kamolu mutamuta la ke dundi o sel kolango lu kono.
Mosquitoes.
Susula.
Are you suggesting that hygiene, cleanliness was never a consideration?
Ibenye fokanko senaya anin ka dinkira la janko wol mu kulleti tel bukani mem
Absolutely.
Wala mtu wanyadi kaya.
Proceed.
Tanteng.
the cells which are situated in this block, they have a steel door and an aperture in the frontage. 15 centimeters square, sort of.
15 centimeters square.
At the back that is facing the east, will have maybe 30 centimeters. So inside the cell, I don't think it's more than this wide, 2 meters.
2 meters.
And then you have a slab. That's where they place the mattress, the small mattress. There is this small, open there where we used to pray. Each and everyone can pray inside your cell. And there is a cupboard sort of, which was raised by a cement block. That's where you used to place your chamber pot on that. And when it is, in the hot season, it's very terrible there. Because if you are praying, where you stand will be, wet with what, sweat. You will place your hands at will be wet with sweat. Your forehead also. And if you are doing zikr, you are doing the tasbih, everywhere will be wet.
Are you suggesting, therefore, that the ventilation is bad?
Very, very bad.
Let's talk about the food. How was it wholesome? Was it nutritious?
Very bad. In our early days in jail, David Colley was trying to satisfy the wishes of the former president. It was a punishment for all of us who were brought in there. The lunch will be ready maybe around 11, 12 in the afternoon. They will leave it there at the cookhouse till around 7 something. The Maghrib prayers, that's the time they will bring lunch. That's the time they will bring dinner together with the lunch. The dinner will be couscous, this chere. And then it's unfortunate if you are eating that thing, you will be it will look like you are eating sand. And then for the lunch, this fish, it's not good, it's spoiled. They will fry it till it is completely, dry. It will look like fish cake. And that is what we are going to serve it. At times there will be no vegetable on the food. So that was the treatment up to probably 1, 2, 3 months in jail. When we came and there was this breakfast that they serve. It was also made out of kus. We call it pap. People who are fond of eating that much end up catching biri. And biri kills. Because if people see your body is shining, they say, oh, you are living good.
Mol sa fo e moro itede be sabatring ila
Or
habari
just
nyabe
put
beti
your
adamba.
finger, and
Ni
then
amari bul konno nyi jube.
touch the person's leg and push it inward. It will go.
Ni
It
bul
will
konno
enter.
da ya mari balo nyi dete ya bulo nyi kadung.
That's the time we realize the symptom of biribiri.
Wato le ka long amari feje ka mandaragol long ko nyi mari da.
If you don't be careful,
ni me hakilotu.
In one word, how would you describe the conditions at Mile 2 prison?
Be kolu fola nyaadi le kolu men be kerin no Mile 2 kasola wotembo.
In one word.
Kuma kan kilingo kono.
Terrible, nightmarish, difficult.
I think the cruelty that you use, we can see the admin body, the leadership was very, very cruel and callous to the prison inmates.
Msafoko kasola nyato nkolu mo ngania jaw balle mo woluti kasola nkolu fe.
David was not after the welfare of the prisoners.
David Mansula kasola nkolu la taranyago.
He was only after his own development.
Ate ba fang sung
how best he can enrich himself.
Ate ba ko mel no mo lem aba fam ko ma yandi la nyame.
Why that word?
Muna na yo fo.
How to best enrich himself?
Yes,
fam ko ma yandi.
Why do I have to say that? Because I believe the things that are meant for the feeding of the prisoners were not spent as how they should be spent. Because if you are bringing, spoiled fish, the money that is meant to buy good ones, has been used for For instance, the issue of bringing a dead bull to jail.
Was that true?
It's a fact. Musa Susu wrote about that. And then Musa, when they were making cell inspection, he was arrested because of that.
Did you partake in the carrion, in the rotten meat? Did you eat it?
For the meat, I don't. For the fish, there is no way, because you have to do survival drill in Mile 2. We realize the food is not good, so we keep fast. So we keep fast for 2-3 months. Because, at night when you'll be hungry, you can eat and do your prayer sleep. If you cover your basin completely, you will have a problem, because you have to hold your nose. You will be polluting everywhere. So if lunch is served, what you do, you open it so that air can enter. Then when you break your fast, you can enjoy it a bit. But if you mistakenly cover it, when you open it, that's the way we were.
And you were subsequently released after serving a little over 9 years. How did that happen?
Bitung inatebula wato me yesanji kononto keje aning wati saying wakata nyadile.
Before then, during the court martial, I could remember the judge advocate, Ajim, because myself and Yaya Dabo, we were continuously complaining about our health conditions. We should be taken for medical attention. I think it was persistent. The complaint was persistent. And then, finally, Ajim gave an order for us to be taken to Royal Victorial Teaching Hospital. So this order was passed. Umar Koli decided to take us Because it was given to him initially, he failed to observe it.
Yeah, diala dum follow kala bara ma
weeks later, it was given, the instruction was given to him, he failed to order, observe it. So the last one, Ajim said we should be taken by all means. So that guy waited till after, I think, close to Juma prayers. When the doctors would have been home then. That's the time he took us to the hospital. And then he cuffed our hands behind again. Myself with Yaya Dabo, Captain Dabo, we were taken to Royal Victoria Hospital.
Royal Victoria Teaching Hospital.
So we went there. We did not find any, a doctor.
You think that was a deliberate ploy?
Yes, it was.
To make sure that you get to the hospital, but you receive no medical attention.
Exactly, because I think he was fearing for us to have documents that may have, a link with our torture. He was there to ensure that anything that we can have that would serve as, substantial, evidence for our case.
Andu ningo kaitoli aitandiko yentelu butele wala binakela sede ya roti intella ko nyendo.
We do not have them.
Bitong ala fero munyendi pour atele intel kana kaiti façon soto.
But still with this court martial, you said it was presided over by Ajim.
Iko nyin court martial sojar kito nyin Ajim wala sita kuna.
But Ajim was a court of appeal judge, wasn't he?
Atamu kiti sankambunda kiti ndirlalti.
That's true.
Mutonyalti.
And he was made judge advocate.
And in attack atake kiti ndirlalti wokokuna.
That's true.
Is it in fact the case that the case was transferred to him as a judge from the Court of Appeal sitting on the High Court to deal with the case?
Ya kemo leti me ya lonko utumo ye kito nyin sainkan ka bondi kiti sainkan bundala waira tamu moleti mem kasi fana o kiti bundala ka High Court la Carola pour kana o kito luchika menkata court martial nyin di kawlu diatela.
You missing the point. Initially, okay, let's take it step by step. Ajim was DPP.
Ajim lom DPP.
Wasn't he?
Well,
he was. And he was kicked upstairs to become Court of Appeal judge.
Yeah, samba sando kake kiti sankambunda kiti ndirlati.
Correct.
And during your case, he was brought down to High Court to preside over your case.
Lakito kuna ya jindi nang High Court pro aisia lakito kuna.
As what? The DPP?
As the judge.
Kake kiti ndirlati.
Yeah, no, at the High Court.
The High Court, this Muna Jain was there.
Yes, but it was transferred to Ajim.
Ajim, okay.
And the lawyers protested.
Exactly, I could remember that now. Yes.
They challenged Ajim as judge for that particular case.
Yes. That's true. And
because at the High Court, you can challenge a judge for bias or things like that, correct? So they discontinued the case at the High Court and transferred it to General Court Martial.
General Court Martial.
And the Ajim who was objected to at the High Court was designated as judge advocate at the Court Martial. Isn't that what happened?
Exactly what happened.
And you cannot object to the judge advocate. Would you call that the standard or the best example of a mercenary judge? It's just a question.
Kitindirla me ya lonko aka kito ke jenko silo le kang. Fabe kela kiti fason kitindirla fason.
Yes, that's a practical and a best example of a masonry judge.
It looks like the odds were stacked against you.
Amunta bitung ye kuolu kumbenke parendi te kama mensi batandi.
The state was going to ensure your conviction no matter what.
Amunta mansa paretal nundoron kajeko yete sorong aketa nyaunyandi nyama.
This is your view.
Nyina mwila jerotinu.
That's exactly the way I was thinking.
And you were sentenced to life imprisonment.
Ngaje wale nyama between ate sorong isioto kasola.
And you served 9.5 years.
Inata taraje sanji kononton intalantemu.
What happened? How did you come to be released?
Munaketa inate bula nyadile.
It was on July 22nd.
July 22nd lam.
Celebration.
Jural lungo.
Yeah, 2015.
2015 sango.
When the president was making a nation arrest.
Yambo menda banko president utarta diamu ka banko be.
I was told because then I was sleeping. No, because after my nafila prayers, I used to go and sleep. So I was sleeping when I heard noise all over the place. Inmates were just, hitting the doors. And we are saying that you are released, you are released. So I woke up. And then I asked what was happening. And then Ablai Sonko answered. He said, no, Lamin Ja.
Abdullah Sonko Jabira ko hani Lamin Ja.
It was Lamin Ja who said,
Lamin Ja ko,
sir, you are all released.
Kanyesa yalbe bulale.
I said whether that was the noise all about. I said before you start, making noise, why not you offer 2 rakas for the Almighty Allah who has made it? And that's the way, I think they had stopped the beating of the doors.
We received an interesting story.
Kuma soto jam menketa kuma menketa sedandir kumoti.
That when it was proclaimed that you were released, somebody said, no, you will only leave the prison on a Friday.
Mo soto ntamenko alabo kasola jang atekeno la fo ni jumalungo sita.
True or false?
Tonya fo tonyande.
Yeah, Sereng Umar Fall, I think.
Yes, Sereng Umar Fall.
Because why we had come to that. He made this pronouncement during the July 22nd celebration, which was on Friday. Sorry, on Wednesday rather. So Wednesday we were there. You see, prison officers there, they are good people when they realize that good will happen. So that day, those who were supposed to go home have our doors not locked because they were open. So we were there. Till in the evening, nothing was happening. Every hour that comes into pass, we will be asking, is this possible? So in the evening around 7, 8, 9, we say, this will not happen. So we asked the prison officers, why not you come and lock our doors? So that was done. The following morning, nothing happened. The afternoon, nothing happened. But we are also receiving information that it will be on Friday. So Sereng Umar also said that it will be Friday. So on Friday, early hours of the morning,
as far as you know, was that divine inspiration?
Amunta itela londoro fomu ala la kito letibang.
Yes. Because
you believed.
Because why I say divine inspiration?
You
know, God has stated that inna kulla shay'in khalaqnahu biqadarin. That we are God. We have created everything into measure and proportion. That nothing will happen when it is not ordained to happen. And there is no way you can fast track or slow things that should happen.
No, I am referring to something else. I am referring to the pronouncement that it would be on Friday. Was that just guesswork or divine inspiration?
Between Yindum, Miraro Rondrambang for Allah Miroto, Allah Kitolem.
No, it's divine inspiration. The Spirit of Allah is in everybody. Because that's the Spirit of God in you. Only you believe in yourself that this, what I'm saying, is going to be the truth. Yes.
Okay. Interesting theory. I would not belabor the point. I would leave it at that. And I would ask you any further questions. Okay, I'll hand you over to the chair. You would answer their questions. And when you make your closing remarks, I'll ask you to address the question whether you regret having been involved in a plan to violently overthrow our government, our constitution. And what would you say to the serving soldiers as to your obligations towards respecting our constitution?
Sojarolu menu be uniform ko no be do ko la nyin tembe ibe mune fala woli puru ila lotan kango nyanta kala muneti puru ka je ko na banko na sambaran sartolu e nyanta wolu bunyala nyame.
And the duty to respect and accept the government and not to take judgment on your own hands by deciding to overthrow the government.
Anim fanan ka do ko mutako isi song ye mansakunda bunya bari ikanake ifaye kitindir lalti ka fo kola ibine la o kitindiro tamandila pour ka ferocity ka banko ka mansakunda boyindi.
Over to you, Mr. Chair.
Saying I call Sawindi Chairman Bulu.
Thank you, Council, and thank you, Mr. Camara, for coming to testify.
Chairman Council Numbara. Bari Mr. Camara abe fanal numbara la isonta kana sede arola.
Thank you very much.
Council, I'm preempted. I have two short questions, and the second one was already essentially asked by Council.
Nanyinin kar sutum fula da soto bari bitum Council kuntu tanyato nanyinin kar fulanja munta yole nyinin katem bitum yewto dabo ndijele.
I would still pose the question,
bari hanim bimba nyinin kalar.
And it is this. When should soldiers overthrow constitutions?
Wati juma lon sojarulu nyanta constitutional boyindila.
I'm waiting for your answer, and then I'll pose the second one later.
Mbela jabiro le batu kambitu kola nsinan nyinin karfulanja okay.
By the virtue of our law,
amunta ntelalua lanya.
The soldiers
are
placed under the civilian government.
Katara civilian mansakundale koto menu manke sojarti.
And they should observe the rules of law.
Andu inyanta yelua bunya ko
asartol. Civilian authority.
Andu inyanta wo civilian alfalu bunya lale.
So there shouldn't be any instant where soldiers should step in to overthrow a democratically elected president.
Oto simfa manyan natala damen sojarolu si wuli ya fo ibe mansakunda bo indila me ya lonko demokrasi mansakunda le ba loring.
I don't know whether I have answered that question.
Malon fongela o nyininkaro jabile.
Well, you belong to one basket, and I'll tell you the second basket as well. The basket that you belong to, essentially, I'll tell you a story. When Sani Abacha died in Nigeria,
ibe sinsimu menkono sinsim fulalonde sinsim kilingo wolem nyintiko birin Sani Abacha fata Nigeria.
Abubakar took over as interim head of state.
Abubakar ye palaso ta ko atele moti ye banko karafa memma.
The world was concerned, the sub-region was concerned about military rule in Nigeria yet again.
Kotake kabrin dunia fotundo nyimfango ibela deunda lota pro sojar mansakunda kana lo kotake Nigeria.
That included the United Nations.
Hani United Nations fango dabe o konole.
The Secretary General went to Nigeria.
Secretary General fango tata for Nigeria
to encourage the military to go back to the barracks.
Kanyin hammo dundi sojarol kono pour ye muru sojar kordalu kono.
The 4 days that he spent in Abuja,
aytilnano menke Abuja,
meeting with all sectors of Nigerian society.
Ani Nigeria la jama fanna jama le bengoke.
One of the interlocutors that he had
be mo kilimbi je men ya lonka ni men benta wolu nyim mo fanam be molle kono ani men ya nyoje
was Yakubu Gowon.
Wala tata ke moti ka fo me Yakubu Gowon.
You remember Yakubu was a military leader, and he spent years as head of Nigeria during and after the civil war.
Ni hakilo ba kon Yakubu mu imansakunda nyaton koltinun sojar nyaton ko adun ni hakilo ba kay sanji jama ke mararola ka bring Nigeria mandun kelo kono fo kelo kola.
I was with the SG when he met with Yakubu Gowon for almost 4 hours.
Ni Secretary General benyo kanne brin ni Yakubu Gowon benta andun na diamo atatale na nyoje atatale fo montoro wati sabafo wati nani.
Gowon was very clear, and that's the basket that you belong to now, that soldiers had absolutely no business interfering in politics or running countries. He said, look, we are not trained to run countries. We are trained for something else.
And you know, for it dabe o sinsingole kono. Katu gawoni yenyine itandi ko. So jaro lumanke bundati menu nyanta mansakunda sambala andung imanke multi meni alonko itele nyanta bankola maralo kunyalu topotola. Ayo seneyandile.
We had several meetings with other leaders in Abuja. After 4 days of encouraging them to go back to the barracks, we left them to go back to New York via London, and we stopped in Accra.
Mbotaje otumole purka sai New York barbitung ntata London silo la kaji Accra.
And that's where the second basket comes in. We went from the airport to State House
State House
to meet with Jerry Rawlings.
Jerry Rawlings benta.
Jerry was in a different basket from Yakubu Gowon. He wasn't very happy. The United Nations was going to Nigeria to tell the military guys to go back to the barracks.
United Nations Nigeria
because Abubakar may not be aware what quote the boys below are thinking when you're going around telling the world, let's go back to the barracks, let's go back to the barracks.
Katu Abubakar amanyin kala mutak membelarin kodu mapurka fo sojarole alinga muru sojar solu kono alinga muru sojar solu kono.
So if you have answered my question, I think so. But we'll see. My second question relates to the NIA, the hearings that we are involved in at the moment. Is it a fair characterization to refer to the NIA as the center for torture in the Gambia from your experience and your testimony?
Idunta menkono anila sede yaroto. Fonsa fono NIA elom kordati dami ya lonko. Jelom tajire ya nin tilimbali ya fango nyaton kabundati.
I want to answer this question in this way.
Nilafta nyinin karo jabila nyene nyama.
The NIAs,
NIA la mulu,
their complex or their grounds.
Itelmumo letimen la kulu
the ground exactly was a place where we were tortured at. So I don't know whether your question is talking about whether the NIAs themselves are the torturers. But I know it was the ground where people were taken to and they were beaten mercilessly. So that was my experience at the place then. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Both answers the question. Commissioners, if you have any questions. Yes, Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Commissioner Carr, after Kala.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Camara, for your testimony. I have two questions I want to ask.
Inumbara Chairman, Inumbara Mr. Camara,
The first is in relation to the difference that you narrated earlier between Lang Tombong on the one hand and Mr. Singate and Mr. Ndur Cham on the other, on the differences as to whether or not to hand over to a transition government. What do you think explains that difference? Was it because Lang and Singate wanted to take over, the military to take over if the coup were to be successful?
Lafte ñinin kala dame wolem fatam fanso membe lan tombong ani ning Singate ning fenketema Ndur Cham tema ko wolem ñinti ko asikeno ko lan tombong itelu laftanyine la numpuru nim falingu keta sojaro le continue mararola wairi barbitun ye Ndur Cham la kuma kam ye nyina foko be man sakunda murundila civiliano lema fo wo fatam fanso ele jero mo wolti bang.
Just a little bit, Mr. Chair. The question said transitional government.
Well,
the interpretation said civilian government. But the witness, when he talked about it, talked about a civilian government. So just to ensure that we are on the same wavelength on this. So you meant to say civilian government.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, according to Ndur Cham, he said the stance of Colonel Lantombon Tamba, that monkeys cannot walk and baboon eat. So if the armed forces should go into it, they have to take up the leadership, which was a different view of Ndur Cham. So I don't know whether that have answered your question.
Okay, thank you. And the second is, how long did he want the the civilian government to last? And how was it going to be done? Was it through an election, or was somebody already identified? You might have said that, I might have missed that. What was somebody identified, and how was, if that was the case, how was he identified to head the civilian government?
Civilian mararo. Wo civilian mararo ibe kela nyadile fo ibe mole tombona membe nyaton kaya kela andrum fanan wo mari me ba tombona wo be tombona nyadile membe kela civilian nyaton koti anim fanan ibe wati jelle kela je ilawo mararo wuce onyin.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned that here. Whether I knew the guy that was in the mind of Ndur Cham for the staging of the coup to become the would-be president for the civilian government. I stated that he did not tell me during that time of our discussion. He said he will come to know this after everything at the end of the operations. Well, I knew the person in jail, who is Aliu Job. How long will that be? He did not tell me that. Thank you. Have I answered that question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Imam C lafte ñinin kala.
Mr. Camara jërëjëf.
Thank you.
Ako Mr. Camara, thank you.
ñu ngi lay gërëm ci coono bi nga sonn.
We are thanking you for your suffering.
fi nga wax noonu yàlla am na li mu wax ci alquran lu am la loolu dëgg la.
You've said something in the Quran which you know Allah has made it. It is something that is true.
yàlla dafa wax ne qad ja'ala Allahu li kulli shay'in qadaran.
This is what Allah has said. The quote He has just made.
loo gis dama ko natt rek.
Whatever you see has been destined by me.
lum nekk am na fu mu em.
However enjoyable it is, it has an end.
lum jafe-jafe itam am na fu ko yàlla emale.
However difficult it is, it also has an end.
ñaareel bi yow ku war a sant yàlla nga.
Secondly, you should be somebody who should thank Allah.
fi nga wax nii ak fi nga jaar.
What you've said and the way where you passed through.
ba yàlla musal la ci musiba bii.
To the point where Allah has just helped you to be safe.
foo mënta ne danga war a waaraate nit.
Wherever you are, you should be giving advice to people.
danga war a sant suñu borom.
And you should be thankful to Allah.
am na ñeneen ñi nga xamante ne kenn gisatul leen.
There are people who nobody has ever seen again.
mënoon na nekk ne.
And it could have been.
yow yàlla tere nga bokku ci.
May Allah help you that you would have been one of those people.
waaye sant yàlla musal na la ci lii.
But thanks to Allah, Allah saved you from that fate.
ñu ngi la cee gën a ñaanal.
And still we will pray for you on that basis.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. May Allah accept our prayers and accept your prayers.
May Allah
grant a blessing for your family, yourself, and everybody here.
But it's not.
Mr. Chair, the document that was exhibited, the video that was played, with your permission, should be, if accepted in the record, should be Exhibit 170.
Yes, indeed, the request is granted, Council.
Yes. I just also want to put in a document, Amnesty International report of 2007 on the Gambia, indicating that the evidence suggests that Mr. Camara and others were tortured during their investigations at the NIA. It's an amnesty report. I just want to put it in as a fact that was recognized by international human rights bodies, and if accepted, should be Exhibit 171.
Request them that also is granted.
Or 170A, Exhibit 170A.
That's good. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
I was hoping that Camara Kunda would add to his prayers that Allah help us not to have any more torture centers in the Gambia. He didn't include that.
Oh, do that, sir.
But Mr. Camara, if you have any concluding remarks to make, please proceed to make them now.
Ne kuma soto ibe la kumo kumfala kuma kangulu menu la ibe la filaka kuma kangulu menu banke jang silang isila o kumo kumfaran kachalufo.
I want to seize this singular honor and privilege
Mbenyim bunya ning horomo tala
to thank the TRRC
Puruka TRRC numbara
for taking this daunting challenge
Puruka nyinkuko nyindoku kolembata
to be part of the composition
Puruka tara kolu kono
to hear from, victims,
porque lamoy molu la kumol la mantoro lata mennu kanu
and perpetrators
ani mennu fanalo keta wo tilimbaloluti
of issues that had happened
pour kolu mennu ketanu
in this country from
nyimbanko kan
I think 1995
kabo 1995
to 2017 January 2017
kana January karo kan 2017 sango kono
I want to thank you very much
mbali numbara la kende ke
for a job well done.
Pour doku kendo men aliyake ana doku kendo.
There will be people around also calling them, secretly or openly, trying to frustrate them in their, in the way they are doing their job.
Fomolu fananu yesoto aketab kullo kono ti bang aketa keno nyala bang fo molu fanali yesoto men ya lon ko wollebe tarla kuma jawolu fo kan wo molu ma walla doku laluma puribe doku kendo men ke kanten katu amandi ye toliye.
And the other party will be there to precinct the actions of the TRRC also.
Andum bunda dul fanal betarla je menu betarla TRRC jaikang.
So I want to say that thank you for the job well done.
Wotonde lafta fola al nimbara alla doku kendo kan.
I believe
lata nyinnako
that TRRC
ko TRRC
after hearing some of these heinous revelations
ni la moy nyi masiba ko dolu la menu keta
will serve as
wolbekela moli e kuleti
as things that can prevent a recurrence of the similar nature of those things which had happened.
Men si ke sababoti men sina nyin ku fasongol la sayin kango bay koteke nyim banko kam pour in nyango nana kanake koteke.
This will remind me of the student demo.
Nyimben hakilo bulandi la talibol la balambayala.
This which I had taken part initially.
Me yalon ko ndunta ko kono nunga folodulato.
And I was calling here to testify.
Andu yen kumandi nanjang hani fonnata nga sede yaro ke akwala.
I believe if there is any issue,
lata ko nin ko kundi mbije
the state apparatus or securities
bankola mansakundala bundalu men ya lonko be loring
look into the way and manner how best to handle that.
Inyanta sila kendolu nim ferolu jubelale inyanta wo kolu mutala nyamin wala be sambala nyamin.
What had happened had happened.
Men keta wo ketale.
But it's for the Gambians to come together and say to give that hands of forgiveness, shake hands and forgive one another on issues that had happened before.
Bari anyinyata fanan Gambian kolu nga muru nyoka ngana ngambulo di nyola nga nyoju be nga yamfa nyoye nga kata nga kengani ya kilinti kote.
Because I've heard
katu ngani moile
during the testimonies of different people
mo jamala sede yaro kono menu manke kilinti
what had transpired during the student demo.
Men keta talibo law balamba ya kono.
And I was part of it.
Nte fango ba kono num.
I have said here exactly what I did during that moment.
And
that's what I believe also.
But
we are praying that may that be a bygone.
For ala sake kuti mem keta kunun kuote ya tambita.
Not happen again.
For anyongo nena kanake koteke.
And Gambia be a peaceful place.
For Gambia sike kaira bankutin tolu beyembe tarla dameng.
So that Gambia can be developed to where we all expect it to be.
For Gambia se yiru anga futa dinkirato mbela fita futandila dameng.
Then having said that, I'm now coming to the issue of the foil coup, which was 21st March 2006.
Kana kudeta bayring oto March karoti lumwane killing men ketanun 2006.
Yes.
Ha.
We have undergone series of torture.
tajireyalu ketanne ntelulale menu manke kilinti.
But it is our duty also to learn to forget those people who have perpetrated that on us.
Bari nyim fana munna do kolete puru nga kata nga long nga fahamu kayam fa wo molie.
I've mentioned here the like of Lieutenant Malik Jata.
Nga molu la kumo fo jambe no be kom Lieutenant Malik Jata.
Amadou
Baji.
Mustafa
Sane.
And the other junglers who were then around.
Anin jongla kotengolu menu bijal nungotumo.
I've mentioned that of Omar Koli Jagaid.
Nga Omar Koli fanan na kumo fo jan Jagaid.
I've forgiven them all.
Iyam fata ibe.
Malik Jata, Amadou Baji, and others were under the custody of the military police.
Malik Jata anin dolu benung military police la Marokono.
I am the head of the military police.
Military police la nyaton kole totumo.
And I used to visit their various places where they are detained at.
Nkate kumpabo ye muta ye sindi damen nutonung.
If I want, I can say, okay, this was what had happened to me in jail.
And I
also torment them while they are under custody. But I did not do that. I used to pray for them. Because they are human beings. We are all human beings. They can make errors. And they can change also. So I have forgiven them wherever they are at. For what had happened to my family during my incarceration, the first days I met with my wife at home. I told him with the family members to forgive me. For the problems that they underwent through. Because it was me that has probably the cause of that to them. Yes, the question was whether, okay, that is about the state securities and the management of issues that confront them.
Well, I
want to say here that the Gambians, we the Gambians, are individualists. When issues happen, people tend to blame those who are involved in it. And they will not generalize on issues what had happened. So that's another problem that is disturbing the Gambians. We should like our country. We should love our country. And we should understand it's the Gambia that we have. May Allah make everybody, every Gambian to think in the way I'm saying, that we should work together collectively to ensure peace and stability in the country. The issue of whether I've regretted that whether it's the stand of the armed forces to overthrow the democratically elected government. Yes, I've regretted. As of now, if I had not been in jail for 9 years, 4 months, 13 days, by now I would have also proudly say that I have my PhD in any discipline. Londi makamo soto ikafome PhD wala doctorate londi sila wo londi sila la karola. I am now starting. So that's a waste in my life. In the aspect of knowledge, in terms of this worldly knowledge. For the dean, probably, that is okay. But I have now started with, my university program.
Nganna university program o karango da mutale.
And I believe that will equip me
ngalonko woben sembentu yalale
to become a professional.
Pour kanake lonnati bu habo
my professionalism.
Pour kana londo la nya pour kana londo kidimandi.
In issues that will serve as challenges to me in the future.
Kuoluto men yalonko sininsa mo sinake nyekole adalti.
I would call upon every Gambian, especially the securities, that any government that is in place, the securities should be subservient to them.
Security olu wolem sojarol nin kantabunda kotengulu inyanta sonne male.
And then we should respect the authority of the civilians.
Andu civilian olu menu be nyaton kapala sol to nge bunya.
By that way,
wasilo kang
will ensure
ubajelale ko
peace and stability.
Cairo nin tenkunge sabati.
We should focus on to the job that we are meant to do.
And leave
the governance system with the government. I think this is what I have. My family's members were seriously affected. Especially my wife, my mom and dad, my younger brothers and sisters, and the well-wishers with loved ones also. I can remember when I was arrested, my dad was sick then. I was the one who was taking care of him, treating him. I took him from Janjambure to Yundum. So when I was arrested, 2006. 2006 he passed away 2008.
2008.
And then my wife was not, was moving up and down. It has disturbed my children's education. They were moved from one place to the other. We are staying at the barracks then at Yundum. When this thing happened, they were evicted out of the barracks. So a relative family member somewhere else in Yundum was the one who has accommodated them. And because of the relocations, that has also affected their schools. They were, moved to Bundung. Then my father was moved back to Janjambure. Because there are a lot of allegations which had happened during the time of the investigation. There was no zone that built up which indicated that Ndur Cham has given me money and had taken this money to Janjambure. So intelligence or whatever people were sent into Janjambure to verify that fact also. And my people were put into that fear, factor. And my family, my wife, my brothers, my children were being monitored everywhere. My son, who is currently sitting here with my daughter, who is not here with me. Ndinke o membe siri mfeja nyintembeng anindimuso menti jang nyintembeng. They were disturbed when they were going to school. Hani bitaka nkara muto tumome. I could remember they used to come and visit me at jail. Kadung hakilo baka kana njubele kasola. When they came, I advised them that, as a human being, they must stand on their feet to ensure that they achieve whatever they want to achieve. At the age of 9 to 10, the other one was at the age of 6 to 7. That they shouldn't rely on me, because I'm taking off the stage. Who knows what will happen next? And then these were issues that were disturbing them. When they visit me, it will take them another 2 weeks for them to come back to their senses and cooperate in school. So I told my wife that I don't want to see them. Only on summer holidays that I would like to see them. So they visit me one in every year. That aside, my wife will be, he will call him and call her and say, anything. Your wife is a traitor. Your husband is a traitor. Your husband is this, that, and that. And that, he's going to be killed. So within that 90 days of my stay in Communicado with my family, it was a terrible situation for my wife and children. To my mom and everyone, they are very close to me. But that was it. That is destiny. It was that destiny that I told Jata, which has come to pass. Like I said, many people were calling here before me. That time it was me. Who knows who will come next? So those people who were there were also called upon. Malik himself was also called upon. So that is Allah. This is the only Gambia we have. It's a small country. And we must all love the Gambia. What happened? Already. Let's think about ourselves as Gambians. And we come together to ensure there is peace and stability. I thank you all for your attention. May God bless us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Camara, for your testimony. You were here 25th of September 2019.
Mr. Camara ila CDRO kama ina tanunjang karotil muanin lulu September 2019.
To come and help us fulfill the mandate to create a historical record of what happened in this country.
Bi fanang imuruta nang purukan tulmakoi purka kudo ku memmu tariko tilindinguti mente fasari kala me yalonko wala munyim banko la quality mennu ketanun jang pura ay sa ay lankenama.
For that we thank you very much.
Wakamala mbe numbarala.
And for your very, very good concluding remarks as well. Were you asking for the floor?
Yes,
please go ahead.
Sorry, sir. There is something that I would like to mention here. It's about my health condition. If I can have medical attention, I think I will appreciate that much. Yes. And the other issue is, I think I've discussed it somewhere else. When I was in jail, my plot of land in Jambur, I think. Jalambang. And that of my younger brother, Ali Camara. And that of my younger brother also, Bakar Camara, were all taken away. This was done simply because they thought I would not be coming out. So I don't know which area, because I went to meet Mondo and Fati, Alaji Fati. But the advice given was that it was part of the plot which were under the commission, which were under the assets of the former president, and they were under commission. Between kenolu ibe nundo ya jamele abulo la ulube kan bar bitun sai ya foko ibe be commission la karole la. Yes.
Thank you. The Commission takes some note of these additional points, Mr. Camara. This brings us to the end of the proceedings today. We will meet tomorrow morning, sharp 10 o'clock. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Yeah. So